Hi, this is Gillian from Pass It On Parents. Hopefully you'll have seen the lovely video that Sheila and Lucy did just to explain what the local offer is, and this is our video showing you how to use the local offer website. Now, I'm not an expert, but I'm going to do my best to try and show you how to use the website so you can get some really useful information from it. Okay, well, to start off, we need to find the website. It's part of the Newcastle support directory, but probably the easiest way to find it is just to search for it. So I'm here on Google. If I just type in Newcastle local offer, and actually you can see this is something I've typed in before, so I can just click on it and we've got various different results underneath. This top one here, Newcastle Send Local Offer, Newcastle Support Directory, is the one we want. And SEND just means Special Educational Needs and Disabilities. So if we click on that, it takes us directly to the home page of the SEND Local Offer. Now, I know that for a lot of our families, parents and carers might have additional needs themselves, and there are some features that they've put on the website to make it easier for everybody to read and to be able to get information from it. If you look up here at the top of the screen, there's a link that says accessibility. I'm going to click on that just to show you, and we bring up the accessibility settings. Now I'll scroll down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. There are various different things that you can do to make it easier for you to read the information. You can make the text size bigger, so where it says choose text size, the standard, but you can go, that's the biggest size, which makes it clearer for people to be able to read. I'll just pop it back. And also you can choose to have the background colour and the colour of the print. You can change that, which makes it easier for some people to read. So we can choose blue by clicking on blue and apply settings, and you can see it's a different colour. If you want it to go back, you click on reset settings. You can also choose high contrast. That's going to make it easier. Apply settings to make it happen, and then reset settings to take it back. Now underneath there's a little bit more information about the talking website and about getting more help in order to, and there's some links to the BBC website talking about different ways to make websites more accessible. But for now I'm just going to go back a page onto the home page of the Newcastle Send Local Offer. Now, the other thing that might make the website a bit more user-friendly for some of our families is if you don't have English as your first language, you can actually translate what's on the page to make it easier for you to read. If you look at the top, there's this sort of toolbar here which is Google Translate, and at the moment it says view this page in English. If I click on that arrow, we get a drop-down menu and it changes it into lots of different languages. So for example, if your first language was Polish, we can find Polish, click on it, and then click on the button to translate. As you can see, everything has been translated into Polish. Now, as I don't speak Polish, I'm going to turn it back into English so I can show you what's going on. But you know, if English isn't your first language, then that might be a helpful tool for you to use. The second thing you can use is actually the website can be used in a way so that you can listen to it and it can be read to you. I'll just get rid of the Google Translate toolbar so you can see a bit more clearly. But this button here in the top left is for a feature called Browse Aloud, and what it means is that it will read aloud the contents of the website for you. So now I have to admit sometimes I find this a bit tricky. It is straightforward. I think it's just me, to be honest. You click on the button and it opens up the little Browse Aloud toolbar. Now this, if you click on play, it will read pretty much everything.
Skip to main content.
So it's starting at the
feedback,
reading everything.
help,
You can see it's highlighting everything
accessibility,
and reading everything. I'll just
home.
Stop that because you don't always want it to read everything. So instead, if you click on the one that looks like a finger, it's the hover to speak mode. And that means
Newcastle Send local offer.
As you can
Home.
see, if I hover over something,
What is the local offer?
it will read it
What
for
is
you.
Send? Education, health and care plans.
And I'm going to
Keeping
start that
children
again.
safe, safeguard.
Now, the other feature you can use is it can read to you in English, but it can also read to you in a different language if English isn't your first language. So again, you click on this drop-down menu and you can choose a different language. So I'm going to choose Spanish. Okay, again, if we click on the hover button, and hopefully it will read for us. I'm just going to try that again. There we go.
Haga clic en los artículos de asesoramiento a continuación. ¿Qué es la oferta local?
Okay, there seems to be a
¿Qué
slight
es enviar?
delay, but as you can see, it is reading all of the contents in Spanish for you. Again, I'm going to pop it back onto English just while I'm showing you what's what. But that is the Browse Aloud button at the top of the page. So just to recap a little bit, because I know I'm whizzing through it quite fast. To help you read the website and to help you use all of the information, there's the accessibility button, there's the Google Translate, which will drop down automatically when you log in, and there's the Browse Aloud feature. Okay, so we've had a little think about ways that you can change the website slightly to make it easier for you to use. So now we really want to think about how you can use it. It's really straightforward. I'm just going to scroll down so we can see the page in a bit more detail. You can see that there are various different categories that you can use. So at the top, this scrolls past different pictures and different links at the bottom, which you might want to click onto for information. There's some general information down here, and right at the bottom, what might be most useful to you with the summer holidays coming up are some different categories, including something about activities and short breaks, and there's also something about childcare for children with special educational needs and disabilities. So those might be the ones that are most useful to us at the moment, thinking about the holidays. The bottom of the page, there's a search engine to help you find a local GP and things, and there's news and various different bits of information. But we're just going to focus on the categories at the moment. So if I wanted to find out about activities and short breaks for my child or young person, I can just click on that link. And lots of different activities and things will pop up. On the right-hand side of the page, again, there are different categories. So for me, at the moment, I'm most interested in holiday activities. So I can click on holiday activities and the search results will come up. Now, there are lots and lots of different results that come up, and you could sort of spend all day reading through them. So you might want to narrow it down a bit to find the stuff that's most relevant for you and your family. There are different ways of doing that. For a start, there's this blue button here that can show the results on a map. So if I click on that, it can show you where the different activities are. So if you're thinking about, actually, how am I going to get somewhere? I need somewhere that's got to be close to home. Then if you have a look at the results on the map, that will show you where everything is, so you can kind of make a choice about what's going to be most useful to you and then look at it in more detail. Okay, I'm going to hide the map for now. So that's the map button. If you have a look over on the left-hand side of the screen, there's different filters. So you might want to search for something that is really going to fit in with your child's additional needs. So for example, there's a box for different kinds of disabilities and additional needs. If I tick the one that says physical disability, it will filter the results for ones that say activities and holiday activities that are appropriate for children with a physical disability. Again, you can filter it even further and click on something that says a specific age range if there's something that you want that you think is going to be appropriate for your child if they're older or younger. Now let me just click on one of these results to show you a little bit more. So if I click on this one, it's activity drop-in days at the Calvert Trust. So when you actually click on an entry, just make sure you can all see. It gives you some information and it gives you some actions, some different things you can do with that information. I'm scrolling down so you can see it all. There are contact details, at the bottom, so the website or email, phone number, and it also tells you about where to go in order to access those activities. There are details about the time and the date, and it says things like, do you need to have a referral to go, any other details that might be relevant. So if you read all the way down to the bottom of the page, you'll get all the information that you need. On the right-hand side of the page, there are different actions. Now, there's one button which says, is this information correct, which I'm going to talk about a bit later. There's a button so you can print off the information. There's a back button, but there's one that says, add to my shortlist. Now, the shortlist is just a way of, I don't know if you're like me, sometimes I'm looking on the internet at lots of different things and I'm trying to keep track of the different things that I look at, and it can get a bit confusing. So the shortlist is really good. If I add that to my shortlist, it means that if we go back to the top of the page, there's a button that says my shortlist. When you click on that, any activity or bit of information that you've had a good look at and click the button to add to my shortlist will come up again. So you'll end up, if you spend a bit of time searching on the website and finding different things that you're interested in, if you click the button add to my shortlist, each time you find something that's interesting, you'll end up with a list of all the different things that you thought were really good. It should be helpful. And then, remember I've just done then, I actually clicked on the button that says my shortlist. What you can do with your shortlist at the end is, if you see here under actions, you can email it to yourself or to somebody else. You can print it out. You can show more details, which just means the details of each individual sort of page that we clicked on will come up so you can remind yourself about why you were interested. You can show the results on the map again, so you can see, well, actually, I found some activities, I think that's going to be good, let's see which ones are going to be easy to get to. And then if you've sort of, decided that you're not interested in that anymore, you can clear your shortlist as well. So the shortlist is quite a useful thing if you're spending quite a lot of time on the website and looking at lots of different things and you just want to keep track of the ones that you think are quite good. Okay, I'm going to go back onto the page we were before. So we've had a think about searching using the categories. Just again, when we've clicked on an individual activity or bit of information, you can also share that information on Facebook. You can get directions, and there may or may not be a gallery of photos showing you a little bit more about what it is. Okay, I'm going to go back to the main page to show you a different way to get the information that you might want. So, you've found yourself on the local offer homepage and you're wanting to find out something specific. If you don't want to use the categories and go in that way, there is another way you can get information. At the top here, there's a search function, so you can go on and put in a keyword. So for example, my children are mad keen about swimming, so I might put swimming in. Oh, I've obviously put that in before. And there's different ways that you can narrow down these results as well. You can, for example, look at that drop-down menu there, you can narrow it down again in a similar way with similar categories. So you might want to look specifically at holiday activities, you might want to look at swimming clubs or swimming groups, you might want to look at advice, support and information, but I'm just going to look at the whole of the local offer. But one way that I might narrow it down is by location. And we talked about how to use the map function so you can see where the activities are, or you can just write a location in. So for example, I might say, okay, well, I want to know what opportunities there are for swimming in Byker. And then if I click on search, different things come up. Now, just as before, you might get information that's not really relevant to you. So here we've got details of things like childminders who take the children swimming. And that might not be what you're looking for, but if you look on the left again, there's that same option to filter the results that you've got. So if I look here, okay, well, I'm not looking at childcare right now. I'm not looking at education and employment. I just want to look at the activities. There we go. And that gets rid of the other results, and we can see different things that are on East End Pool, Swim North East. Again, if you want to look in more detail, you click on the individual entry and it will take you to that page. It's got the contact details and where to go, times and dates. It also, again, remember on the right hand side, you can print it out, you can add it to your shortlists, or I'm actually just going to go back to my results. Again, just as before, when you use the categories, you can filter in different ways. You can filter by disability or additional need. You can filter by age. If we scroll down a little bit further, it says other filters. Ooh, services free. That looks like a good one. So if you're looking for free activities, you can filter for that specifically, which is always good to know. Okay, so I hope that's given you, I know I've whizzed through it quite quick, but I hope that's given you an idea about how to just have a little look and how to find some information on the website. I'm going to go back to the homepage of the local offer again. Just to recap, we've had a little think about ways to make the website more accessible. So there's the accessibility button, there's Google Translate up at the top, and over here I'll just close Google Translate so you can see it better. If it's going to let me close, over here it's browse aloud, which is the way that you can have the website read to you. We've said there's two different ways to search. You can either scroll down and use the categories, or you can use the search facility up here, the search function. And once you have searched, if you remember on the left hand side of the page, you can filter the results to get the ones that are most relevant to you and have a look on a map to find out where they are. We've talked about having a shortlist, which you can have, and I didn't clear my shortlist, so I've still got that information about the Calvert Trust on there, which I can email or I can print out, so I can take that information away with me. And the last thing I'm going to talk to you about is giving feedback on the website. Now, we said that under these actions here, actually not on those actions here, if I click on the individual activity, there was a blue button that said, is this information correct? Now, the lovely people at the council, they really want this website to be spot on for parents and carers. They want it to be really useful. So if you see stuff on here that you feel isn't correct, then tell them. They really want you to tell them. So you can click on the button, is this information correct? And it takes you to the feedback page. The other way to find the feedback page is by the feedback button at the top. And on the feedback page, there's a little form that tells you about your experience using the website. Now, I know sometimes, we can't be bothered to fill these kind of things in. Sometimes you feel like you just want to get the information you want and go. But if you do have a couple of spare minutes to give feedback, then it would really, really be great. Because if, as parents and carers, if we're telling them, do you know what, that information isn't correct, or I found the website tricky to use because of this and because of that, then they'll be able to make changes to make sure the information is correct and to try and make the website as easy as possible for families to use, and that's really what we want. Okay, well, I hope that was helpful. As I say, I'm not an expert at all, and I know I've whizzed through it quite quickly because I didn't want to bore you all for being on here too long. But this video will be on our Facebook page, so you can always refer back to it and have another watch if you need a bit of reminding about how it all works. Okay, thanks very much. Bye-bye.